Practical SQL Server 2012 Administration and Programming, Database Design, Columnstore Index, Lookup Table Design. First, let's deal with Columnstore Index. This is a new and revolutionary feature to SQL Server 2012, designed for data warehouse performance, direct queries against the data warehouse OLAP queue building. So we are talking about static tables. Unfit. This feature, Columnstore Index, is not for transactional OLTP database. You cannot update the table. You cannot insert into a table. If you want to insert into a table, you have to drop the index, and you can rebuild it again or recreate it again, or you can drop it with a table, recreate the table, populate it, and create the index again. So let's see. For timing consideration, we have 3 queries, and this is the timing prior to creating the index, and we look at the timing at the 5th execution, because by that time we have a fairly stable system, and it's 116. We can just keep it, it's ballpark. And at the next query, it's a more sophisticated group by, and let's execute and check it out. And this is 103, the last execution. The first and second execution were much longer. So anyhow, so let's decrease it to 103. Let's check out the third query. 5 execution also. Now this is a very fast one, and still 20 milliseconds. That's great. Control R, and this is how we create a Columnstore index. We put in every possible column we need in the queries. That's quite contrary to regular indexes when we want to keep down the number of columns to be absolutely necessary. Well, that's an interesting message. Let's see if we can resolve it. Well, we executed it the second time, and this time it worked without giving an error message. So we can start timing comparison. This is the query which used to take 130 milliseconds, and the timing is 13. So we see tenfold performance increase. Let's look at this query, which took like 103 milliseconds, even longer in our tests. And it's down to 20 millisecond. 20. And was 103 previously. So 5-fold increase. And let's check out the third one. Now this was very fast. We may not get much gain here. 20 milliseconds is fast. Let's redo it. And it's down to 3 milliseconds. So we see the tremendous benefit of Columnstore index in data warehouse operations. not only for reporting queries against a data warehouse, which is of course helpful if a query is returning fast, but building OLAP cubes as well. Let's drop index. That's very similar dropping a regular index, and continue with lookup table. Lookup tables, or our names, code table or translate tables, there are so many in a database, in a typical database, that they practically pollute the database. So we can collect them into a pair of tables. One is called the lookup type, the other is the lookup. This way it's only two tables, and we can put hundreds of lookup tables using this formalism. So let's create it, and then add primary key to a lookup table, which is a composite primary key. That was successful. Let's continue. We are populating them with departments. And when we can check it, we got foreign key violation because we have not executed these first two statements. Now we execute the population all the way down here, and it worked correctly. So this is departments. We are going to get the country list from this table, insert it as foreign key 1, and that's good. So now we have two types of lookups. One is country and the other is departments. Let's continue, add state province code. First to lookup type table, because this is going to be a new table, new lookup, and when we insert type 3, 66 rows. So these are US states and Canadian provinces. Let's check it out. So this is our table now. Countries and 2 departments and 3 states and provinces. And let's do a select where actually we replace a foreign key lookup type ID by the actual lookup. Description, which is country. State, province, and in between department. So we see here that we store 3 lookup tables in a pair of related lookup tables, which structure is designed to support hundreds or even thousands of lookup tables. It become very easy to put them into this table, so it's not going to pollute the database, as to say. Recapping, Columnstore index is a revolutionary new feature of SQL Server 2012 for data warehouse operation. It speeds up queries tremendously. It uses a special index. In this special index we have to throw in all the columns we think we ever use in queries. And we have demonstrated with simple queries how much faster is a Columnstore index. instead of deploying tens or hundreds of translate tables, small tables with codes, we can consolidate them into a pair of tables. One is type, lookup type, and the other is the lookup table, which foreign key to lookup type. This way we can store thousands of lookup tables just in 2 tables. This is the end of the unit.